Right, we did receive that written statement from Clarence Crawford's lawyer just a couple of hours ago, and it says that this traffic stop really upended his life. He lost his job afterward and hasn't been employed since then. The lawyer also said that some of the claims by the city manager made this week are false. Now, Clarence Crawford filed a lawsuit against the city in June. City officials say that they didn't publicize this incident sooner at his request, only doing so when mediation didn't resolve the suit. But the lawyer's statement says that's not true. His client had even requested the dash and body cam footage in January, only receiving an edited version 9 months later, and was not asked about the files being released to us on Monday. The statement also alleges Officer Caleb Meyer pulled up next to Crawford, saw him through the window, and then followed him for some time before turning on his lights and sirens. And in the release, Crawford mentions the female officer who arrived at the scene second, thanking her for de-escalating the situation and saying he may not be here today if not for her. The city of New Braunfels says the officer involved was never investigated for misconduct, but retrained over the summer. Caleb Meyer resigned from the force in September. Here's what the city manager said on Monday.
We're also working with an independent outside firm to review policies and standard operating procedures, and also reviewing our training and processes to build an even stronger department.
Against Crawford were dropped 7 weeks ago. Charges against Crawford were dropped 7 weeks ago. The city manager said Monday former police chief Tom Weibert took some responsibility in this incident, was part of why he retired in October. An interim chief was sworn in October 12th. Keith Lane formerly served as police chief, then city manager in Haltom City, which is near Fort Worth. The city is finalizing their posting and will begin to accept applications for a permanent police chief very soon. Now, we reached out to the city for comment on some of those claims that Crawford's lawyer made in the statement today, where he disputed some of the facts released earlier this week. We heard back from them just a couple of minutes ago, and the city says that they stand by their previous comments, but did want to say that they respect Mr. Crawford, appreciate his comments about their honest and hardworking law enforcement officers. Live in New Braunfels, I'm Leah Durain, the KENS 5 Hill Country reporter.